All right, guys, this is our lesson on how to calculate stair stringers and then scale them down by a quarter scale. And so that's what you're going to be doing today. So for my rise, I went over to the ruler on the shipping container and I measured and I did number 2. My rise is 54 inches and 3/16. So the first thing I need to do is convert 3/16 to a decimal. So I'm just going to go 3 divided by 16 equals 0.1875. Okay, so I'm going to add the 54 plus 54 equals, so it's equal to 54.1875. Now that I have that, I'm going to divide by 7 because that's my ideal rise. And it's 7.74, okay? Now that's a little closer to 8 than I would like. I'd like it closer to 7. So I'll go back again, 54.1875 divided by 8. And now I'm closer to 7. So I have 6.77. So that means that my rise is going to be, I'm going to divide this by 8. And now equals 6.77. I now need to convert the 7 back into a fraction so that I can use it on my tape measure. So I'm going to minus the 6 because I know that's 6 inches. I'm now going to times this by 16 because that's the what we're working to on the tape measure is 1/16 of an inch. So times 1/6. So it's 12/16. Okay, so 12/16 happens to work out to 6 3/4. So that is my rise. So my rise is 6 3/4. My run, in this case, I have nothing to stop my stair from going out. So I'm just going to make my run 10 inches. So this is the rise. The run is going to be 10 for each step. Now, I'm going to minus 1 step for the top. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, 7 in total. So I can go 10 times 7 is equal to 70. So now I know that my overall would be 70 inches. So now the next thing I need to do is actually reduce this down by a quarter so that I can actually lay it out. So that's pretty simple. I'm just going to go 6.75 divided by 4. So my quarter scale, okay, is going to be 1.68 will be my rise. My run is really simple. I'm going to go 10 divided by 4. So my run is going to be 2.5. Okay, now I need to convert both these obviously into a fraction. So 0.5 is easy. That's just 2.5. And 0.68. So I'm going to go 0.68 times 16. It's actually 11/16. So I'm going to have 1 11/16 will be my rise. So now that I've done that, it's time to actually lay out my stringer. So I've given you some material. It's 3 inches wide because the stair stringer would actually be 12. I've also given you a square that's 4 by 4 and just a scrap piece of wood. We're going to turn this into our framing square. So this corner is 90 degrees, so I'm going to lay out my rise and run, and I have it here. So the first thing I'm going to do is lay out my run at 2.5. So I'm going to take my tape and mark 2.5 inches. I'll now flip it around, and I'm going to do my rise this time. So I'll take my rise, and I am 11/16, which is going to be right here. And now I have my 2 points. So what I'm going to do now is take my straight edge. I'm going to go from corner to corner, and that's going to give me my rise and run. So in order to stick this on, I'm going to take some double-sided tape. I'm just going to cut a piece off using a utility knife. I'll stick it on the back of my piece of material here. Trim off the extra. And remove the part on the back, the sticky part. Now that I've done that, I'm just going to line up my 2 points like this. And this is now my framing square with my run and my rise. My next step is actually to lay out my stair stringer. So I'm going to take my piece of material and I will then flip this over. And I just need to keep in mind that this is my run on this side and my rise on this side. So I can now lay it out. So I'm going to start down here and I'll do the first step. Okay, so I need to leave room to come back this way after I'm done. So I go like this and I do one of my rise. So this is easy enough. I just keep sliding down and I repeat this step over and over till I have, in my case, 7 of them. Now, a couple things. I need to bring a line straight down here so I can flip my square over and just use that as a straight edge. The other thing I can do down here now is I can also bring it straight across. So I'll line it up like this and come down like that. So what I need to know here now is what is my tread thickness. Now, my tread thickness is actually 1.5 inches, which is 2 by material. So I'm going to go 1.5 divided by 4 because we're doing a quarter scale equals 0.375. Now I need to convert this to a fraction, so I go times 16 equals 6/16, and 6/16 we know is 3/8. So I'll come over here and I'll now measure down my rise and I will minus 3/8. So I can go like this. I can use this as my marker if I'd like, so I don't have to totally remark it. I go like this and then measure up 3/8. The other thing, of course, I could do is I could take my 1 11/16 and also minus 3/8 off of that. So I'll take my tape measure out to here and I can go right up to here. And now I'm going to minus 3/8. So 1, 2, 3. I moved it a little bit. So 1, 2, 3 right here. And now I need to draw a square line coming back off of that. So the other thing I need to lay out is my ledger board. And you know by laying out the ledger board that it's actually 3/8 by 7/8. That's what a scaled down 2x4 is. So that's easy enough to do. We come over here and then we'll lay it out again. 3/8. I'll go this way. And 7/8. Once again, I can use this to go ahead and lay those out. So I can come back here this time. I can line it up like so. Draw a line. Mark that at 3/8 as well. There we go. And now that is my ledger board. So now that that's done, I could go ahead and write all my calculations on here with my name. So Mr. Rock. My rise was 1 11/16. My run is 2.5. And now I can go ahead and cut it out. All right, guys, to cut this out, I'm just going to use a utility knife. Obviously, you can't have any power on when you're in the shop here. I got a nice sharp blade. I'm cutting away from myself. I never have my hand behind it, and I'm going to have safety glasses on for this as well. So be really cautious doing this. Make sure you have a sharp blade. So here we go. I'm going to clamp this down to the desk, and then I'm going to actually use a handsaw and finish the rest.